Hello, group. Welcome to Action Right Corner. I'm your host, Richard May. Today, Anticitizen. Take to the streets. Is this triggering? Well, off the bat, we heard Action Right Corner. Do not advocate for violence or rioting. It's bad for you. It's bad for us. Not good. But if you find it funny, okay. I mean, music-wise, if you find it funny. In real life, it ain't funny. Especially if you're the property owner or the taxpayer that has to pay for it. And we all pay taxes, don't we? Yes, we do. One way or the other. So, let's do the review. All right. It is a good hardcore punk record with some musical chops underneath the hoarse, screamed vocals. Okay? Good hardcore punk, some chops. And the two songs I really like that I put into my YouTube like shuffle: Drink, Smoke, F, Die. I always go for those things. I don't smoke, I don't drink. Don't F as much as I want. I'm gonna die someday. But I love drinking songs. Drink, Smoke, F, Die. I think many people watching will be with that. The other song is 100 Seconds. His main refrain is, and the one that connects with me, your outrage is not enough. You outrage? If you're outraged by something, do something about it. Don't just complain to the wife and make her day worse. Not just your buddies at the bar. Do something about it. Your outrage is not enough. True words there. And before, okay, so if that's all you're here for, move on. Video's over for you. This is the Why is the Old Man Reviewing? Anti-Citizen, Take to the Streets. Why am I doing this? Okay? I'll get to that. But before I get to that, hey, Attorney General, Blondie, whatever your name is, I'm okay. I got my Ted Nugent, our buddy. I even got the 21st century Ted Nugent. Okay? I'm not a poser. I'm not here with just, double life gonzo. I got other live, 21st century live Ted Nugent and Graveman. Graveman's pretty good. I got Shut Up and Jam. See, I'm not a poser. I did not meet the man, but I got a copy with the autograph. Okay. It just came with the purchase. Never met the man. I even got the music made me do it. I like Ted. He's a trumper. So, another trumper that we all like, Ace. Ace is a trumper. He is. Sorry if that disappoints you, but Ace is a trumper. And I got new Ace too. 10,000 volts from last year, wasn't it? Spaceman. Good stuff. Good stuff. Fun. So we're bipartisan here. Okay? Is this a progressive record? Yes. But it's not specifically political. It isn't saying Trump sucks. It says everybody sucks. All politicians suck. Just like Lemmy said back in the day. That's why I got my Motorhead shirt on today. All politicians suck. Fine. And, so it is a political statement from Anticitizen. Well, here, let me get to that. So, I brought notes. Okay, this is the outline of what I got to talk about. So, why am I reviewing Anticitizen? I never listened to this stuff 40 years ago. Well, more than 45 years ago. More than, yes. My favorite record store back in the day, in the early 80s, was Chris's Warped Records in Lakewood, Ohio. A very progressive town. Now, back in the 80s, more mixed. And Chris, the owner of Chris's Warped Records, the hippest record store in town, was an early action rocker. He liked both heavy metal, hard rock, and punk. He knew both. And his band, and some of you may know his band, he was a founding member, the Spud Monsters. Remember the Spud Monsters? They toured Europe and America. It was a real recorded band. That was his band. And so his record store had both. So I would walk in the record store looking for my Deep Purple family output. Gillian and Whitesnake and, when that stuff was being imported. Before we had American issues of those things. And I'm looking for my hard rock. And he would, whoever was working the store that day would sometimes play some punk. It sounded a lot like this. And the covers looked a lot like this. Okay? And I just, what the hell is that? As they used to say, American Bandstand with Dick Clark. It doesn't have a danceable beat. I like a nice 4/4 beat. I do. That, in the day, 40 plus years ago, when I had a big ass afro, believe it or not, I didn't learn I was short until after 40. When I lost up 3-4 inches of hair going straight up. Then I learned I wasn't 5'10" or 6 foot. So anyways, I heard it then, and the college radio stations would play it, and it's like just, let me go here and listen to this, new wave of British heavy metal or whatever else, not this punk stuff. And, so, in the 21st century, I started to appreciate punk more. Because I regretted all that hair metal I wasted my money and time with. Ugh. Awful. I wish I was listening to more punk back in the late 80s and the 90s. Okay. Turn of the century, turn of our century. That's when Iggy Pop and other bands, and of course action rock, which combines both metal, hard rock, and punk. That's the jam. But in that day, it was a deep divide. And I wouldn't give this a time of day. And yesterday, I reviewed this hardcore punk record. But this is just fun. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Just fun hardcore punk. Funny. It's nice stuff. So that opened the door today, to look through my pile of things I can choose to listen to, and I find this printout, and it's like, okay, I'm in the mood. And I listened to it once, and I liked it. I did. But then I thought, I'm posing. I'm being a poser. Let's find something else to listen to today. I picked up my big stack and looked through my physical CDs from this year. And no, this is what I wanted to listen to today. And it grew at me. It grew on me. It grew at me and on me. And, it's fun. It's fun if you have the right attitude towards it. And even if you don't have the right attitude, I lost my good attitude. It started to make me a little pissed off. Because I'm a grown-up. I'm engaged with current events. And so it did tick me off. But in maybe a healthy way. I guess in my old age, I'm an angry old man. I was an angry young man. I was an angry young man in hard rock. And my anger wasn't as deep as it is today. Why am I angry? Let's not go into that. Maybe the same reasons you're angry, maybe different reasons. Our political silos. But Anticitizen is not specifically political, like I said before. On their Facebook page, this is how they describe themselves. Incendiary punk rock burning a hole through the police state, one Molotov at a time. Molotov cocktail. For the unhip that may not understand that reference. Molotov cocktails is a cheap firebomb. And I look through their Facebook page and look through, what just in case there's a political reference somewhere. And there's no political references. Not even the Libertarian Party or the ACLU. They follow Bill Burr. You know Bill Burr, the stand-up comic? I love Bill Burr. He's not necessarily political. His YouTube channel, Easy So Dope, is dope. Easy So Dope. 2 C's for easy. Okay? Bill Burr's cool. So they follow Bill Burr and Black Sabbath. Of course they do. That's the good stuff. But, it's not specifically a political record. It is, in, you know, provoking, the first word out of the guy's mouth of that hoarse scream is riot, take to the streets. The title of the record is not the first words out of his mouth. Riot is the first word out of his mouth. Not good. Not chippy. Irresponsible. But then, if you take it with a grain of salt, I mean, if our rock and roll advocates, Satan worship and sleeping around with women and whatever, not good for you. And drinking and taking drugs, and that's not good for you. If you're laughing at that, you're okay. If you're laughing with that, you got a problem. You know the difference? If you laugh at something, it's healthy. Someone tells a racist joke and you laugh at the joke, you're not a racist. You're laughing at the fact that some idiot told you a racist joke. That's what's true and funny to you, is that this person's an idiot and told me this idiot joke. That is not true. You laugh at it. If you laugh with it because you agree with the joke, the sexist, racist, homophobic, if you laugh with the joke, you got a problem. Seek counseling. And maybe that's why you're on your second marriage. So, if you're laughing at Anticitizen and hey, riot, and maybe you're okay. With it, you're ready to go find a riot. Not cool. Don't go after me, Attorney General. Okay. Or Homeland Security, or whatever else. I'm okay. Free speech. So, and the second song, Blood Money, is kind of progressive in the sense that billionaires don't feel guilt. Blood money. Class warfare going on. Some references to Wall Street not being cool. You notice this on the cartoon? They're rioting on Wall Street. Class warfare. I think we crossed that Rubicon, I'm afraid. But I'm not taking sides. Just saying, just being a reporter. So, it was funny because I don't obviously own a physical copy, so I'm listening on YouTube. You can get your own opinion on YouTube. Go find it. Anti-Citizen, take to the streets. And I find funny that they're trying to sell me a Chevrolet or a Ford, or the drugs with all the side effects. Also, an ad from a friend of mine who owns a funeral home had an ad directed at me 2-3 times while I'm listening to this. Good old Chad, a friend from a past life. I'm getting to that stage of life where I should be calling Chad professionally. Chad, let's prepare. Tomorrow's not promised to a man my age. You gotta prepare, right? Remember, folks, prepare. Get that will filled out and all the stuff you need to put together. So it's not specifically political. You're saying all politicians suck. Maybe they're right. Rhetorically, let's just say, maybe Anti-Citizen's right. All politicians suck. Okay? And we'll leave it at that. It's just what struck me about Anticitizen is with current events that is occurring. And I do keep up with current events. And I'm somewhat involved with current events. It's going to get weird. Is this fair comment? No matter what you believe, no matter what whether you would riot at January 6th and participate in that, or if you were at a riot because of, what was the young man's name? The young black man that was murdered in Minnesota. Whether you rioted on behalf of that or rioted on behalf of Trump, it's going to get weird. All I'm saying, you need grown-ups. Be a grown-up. And we're going to have our fun in between being a grown-up. So, all I got to say to Anticitizen, with their lack of political statements, specific, you can sing about it and say billionaires suck and whatever. And, and opposing the police state. Oh, boy, howdy, you're going to have a police state now. Our president listened to calls for martial law. Oh, it's going to get weird. All I'm saying, it's going to get weird. Whether you like martial law or... Anyway. I advocate. Hey, Anticitizen, if you hear that I'm doing this review, all I'm saying is support the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union. Give some support to them. I have. I've held fundraisers for them on my birthday on Facebook, and I threw a few bucks in. They're good people for people opposing the police state. ACLU, good people. And also, if there's any protests or, about your local jail or certain justice matters, with whatever, get involved in that a bit. Be supportive. Do a nice march with the nice people. In my town, a bunch of people died in a row in the jail. A bunch of people died in jail because the jail was not in good condition. It was my county trying to make a profit from running a jail. Not good. And people died. Mind you, these are people who were not convicted yet. They're in jail because they were charged, not convicted. So 9 people died in a short period of time. I marched over that. That's a good thing. Not that I believe we're in a police state. No, not me. We're not in police. Back to blue. To a point, within reason. Yes, Mr. Officer. But that's the least you can do. Throw a few bucks to the ACLU. Throw a kind word to people trying to help fix the justice system. This police state you're complaining about. That's the least you can do. I hope you've already done it. And we're cool. I'm sure you have, but you don't have much of a footprint online yet. So, I like your record. I enjoyed your record. And hey, if I get a chance, I may even buy your record. But you got a few cents for me listening to this over and over again today. That's what I'm told. You only get a few cents, but you got a few cents out of me listening to it. Good for you. And of course, this nice review, because I enjoyed it. So, if you care about all of that, you can give my video here a like. That'd be cool. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll try not to do this sort of thing again. But remember, I told you when to stop watching. I told you that, right? I did. I told you. And ring the notification bell. And leave a comment. Not necessarily a political comment. What do you think of the music? Okay? We're not a political channel. Did I really go into politics? No, I didn't. I was talking about responsible citizenship. Even your band's name is Anticitizen. Good citizenship. That's what we need today. And for more, I don't know if I'm going to do much more hardcore punk, but I'm not promising. I don't want to be opposing. But if it strikes my fancy, I'll do it again. But it may take me a while. We'll see. I haven't made a decision about what I'm reviewing tomorrow. I don't know what's in the pile. Let me have a night's sleep. But for action rock, garage rock, and classic Alexi bands, you come back here. And we'll have more for you. And we thank you for watching. And be a good citizen. Even if you're an anti-citizen, be a good citizen. Thank you for watching again. Good night.